Okay guys, so here we go. Today I've got an unboxing for you. It's the 70-200 Canon lens 2.8 L USM. This is a standard version, the first version. I know now recently they've had a release of the second version. Well, not recently, second version, and there's another version come out now, the third version. So worth keeping an eye out. But because the new versions have come out now, the older ones are cheaper. I've had this for a fair while, but I'll do the unboxing now for you. So if I show you how it comes. So basically get a foam insert there and we'll go straight to it. So that's the case. So it comes in a lens case which is as American Z model, LZ1324, and a lens hood ET86. So this pouch is quite sturdy. I don't see myself using it, but it's got a loop on there for the belt, so you can put your belt through it, and it's got leads there so you can put it on your shoulder. So if I show you the opening there, let's clear this up actually, just move that there, put that back in the box. Is anything else in the box? Just a little pamphlet thing with details in, but nobody cares. Okay, there. So if I undo that Velcro and then zip that open there, go straight to the lens. So you will notice there's a big lens. And it comes with the hood, so that's all black padded inside. Nice sturdy case, leather bottom. So get that out of the way. And lens. So it comes with the collar. That's the hood. Again, it's got a silky inside. Canon ultrasonic cap. Lens, big, heavy, good weight to it. And the tripod mount, which is needed there. So that comes there. There's the end cap. You can see straight through the lens there. Maybe, yeah, big eye, small eye, yeah. So that image stabilized lens is a workhorse of a lens, big, and the tripod mount is the official Canon one. So if you're here, you're probably asking yourself, is it worth getting it? And if you're doing any type of portrait work or fashion work, yes, you need to get it. But that's your unboxing. Here we have the Canon EF 70-200 2.8 LIS USM lens. It weighs 1.4 kilograms and has a 77mm filter diameter. This lens comes with an ultrasonic motor and a second generation 3 stops of image stabilization. Maximum aperture is 2.8 and a minimum aperture of f32. It is made up of 18 groups of 23 elements and has 8 diaphragm blades. This version was released in 2001. Later edition of the Mark II was released in 2010, and the most recent version, which is version 3, was released this year, August 2018. It's a big lens, heavy lens. The main reason I've got it, it's a 2.8 and it's a good range, and it's all internal focusing. There's no moving parts on the outside. It's image stabilized and it's the first version. So in low light catwalks and fashion shows, it's an essential lens, because you're going to get that in every catwalk. They kind of do all their preparations first, and lighting seems to be the last thing. So if you've got a lens like this, you can make the best of a bad situation. So knocking up the ISO on the 5D Mark II and having this on 2.8 with the image stabilization, you can go down to shutter speeds really low and avoid you getting the blurry shots. You still get crystal clear images. And if you see my sample photos for this lens, there's a section in there from catwalks. It's over 10,000 photos, but I've picked out a few to show you what that looks like and what type of photos it takes. Great ultrasonic motor, silent, crisp, just flashes. You can see it getting focused straight away. There's no dragging or any noises, and it's a nice piece of glass. What you will notice is it's a heavy one, so you get a good workout with it. However, I'll show you an option a bit later on that I use to kind of take the pain out of it, because obviously shooting all day at catwalks at multiple times, it can get daunting on the arms. One thing you may ask yourself is f2.8 versus f4. So the f4 is lighter and it is actually better for video work, but my main aim's been photography. Video is now only coming into it, so that may be something that I could get. You wouldn't, if I would have both lenses, so I would keep the 2.8 and have an f4. Use the f4 for video, and it's a lot lighter as well, easier to use, but same kind of build quality. In terms of photo outdoors, it'll be fine, but at low lights slightly there will be a bit of struggling there. A lot of my lenses all go down to the lowest numbers. This is 2.8. I got a 24-70, which is a 2.8. Again, there I would have had the choice of the f4, which is the 105 version of that lens, but I didn't get it because I like the low light capabilities. So in that sense, this has really good color rendition. Photos are crystal sharp, the focusing is great. So with this tripod mount, one thing you find is if you're mounting it, it's quite good. So I've got a cheap monopod here, nothing expensive or fancy. It's a Wellborn Up 400. I've had it for years from Jessop's, when they used to be, well, they still are now, open I think. So if I show you roughly the setup here, so I have a body mounted on the back, there's a camera, and then you get rogue flashes because obviously in the catwalk there's everybody around you, so the flashes are firing away, so this stops that going into your lens and making blur or the lens flare. So with the body mounted on the back, I can easily take photos there, and the weight's all on the monopod and just holding the body in place. You tend to find a good spot when you're sitting down, and then you can just take shots. I normally take my Pelican case with me, which I sit on, so then obviously the catwalks don't cater for photographers. So when it's mounted, one good thing about this is you can loosen this and actually spins quite freely. So you're doing, I normally use the 550D because I've got the battery grip on it, and what that's good for is obviously extending the battery life, and you can spin it. So if I'm doing a portrait shot, I can spin and take a landscape shot, I can portrait, spin it and take a portrait without much kind of faffing around because it's all just on that tripod mount. So that's worth it, I think, just because that comes in the package. If you get the f4 version, you don't get the tripod mount, you have to buy that separately. There are newer versions of this lens, but I don't see the reason to upgrade to any of those because this does what I need it to do. I mean, there's only so much you can get out of a photo, and photographers may notice the little pixel peeping, but when it comes to the difference between the standard version, which is the first version I've got, and the second and the third one that's coming out now, but it's come out in August I think, there's extra coating on it and there's other bits on there that make it good, but I don't really see the point of it because a lot of the clients that we give the photos to or show them to, this is most professional, and comparing that to another photo, nobody goes into it zooming that far. It's all YouTube, I think, that people like to compare that kind of thing, but in real life situation it's a great lens, and I don't think I'll be selling it anytime too soon. This is one of the main lenses I keep. I'll probably do a lineup of my lenses and show you all of them, but this is the 70-200. Okay guys, so this is the Lightroom look at my photos, sample shots taken with the 70-200 2.8 IS lens. And you can see here from this description and the metadata, the majority of my photos are taken with the 70-200, especially for fashion shows, and it's mainly on the 550D Canon body because I've got the grip on there, so I can switch between the portrait and landscape. And you can see the volume there for 200mm. They mostly are taken at 200. So here's a few shots of the fashion catwalk itself, and you can see there's different types of shots here. I've taken a selection just to give you an idea of the types of photos you can achieve with this. So it's known for having tack sharp images, and these are all unedited raw images here just to give you an idea how it comes out the camera. And I just do a bit of editing afterwards just to adjust the contrast, and this one I think I'd adjusted that just to bring out some detail because these are used on social media, so you want to give it a little bit of a boost in terms of color and extra crispness, sharpness, which is already quite good, but you give it a little bit of a tinker on that. So you can see now here with these images you can do a number of portrait and landscape shots, and it comes in handy. So you can see here how tack sharp the actual image comes out, and you can see the details on the face there are great. So with this lens you will see this, the one I've got is the actual first version. There have been version 2 and a version 3 recently in this year. I think August they released version 3. But what you will find is if you're a tech geek, you want to get the latest gear, go ahead, but there's not a massive difference apart from a few tinkering updates they've done in the new version. So here you can see some of the portrait shots there walking down the catwalk. A number of these are all Asian catwalk photos that I've taken the samples of. I've got some others but I can't show you those. There's a bit of a they have to have a release date, and obviously the designers have a date they want to put the images out for, so I can't put them on YouTube until they've put them out on their social media first. Again, here you can see this nice shot here. This is of jewelry collection, so what you will also need to do is get good product images of the catwalk. This is easily about 8-9 feet away, no, probably longer than that. I think it's about 2.5 meters away from that shot I took, and you can see how nicely at 200 millimeters you could still see the detail in her jewelry. Again, here with this guy, this chap's come out with some details there, so obviously he's got a lot of accessories on him. And in the catwalks you have a number of people there, obviously the makeup artists, the designers, and then you've got jewelry and accessories as well, so you want to make sure you capture all of that for the show, because obviously they're there to sell their product and showcase it to the public. Again, here there's another one. You can see these garments are all a mixture of designers, but the 70-200 kind of comes into its own in this type of environment. You can easily get the long shots in, and you can see there, look at that detail, tack sharp, that's as it's come out of the camera. I'm shooting a lot of these on the 5D Mark II and the 550. Here's some from Ooz's Couture fashion blog, and these are lookbooks. So you can see here again, these are outdoor shots, and it kind of speaks for itself there. You can see it's taking images there just to kind of work out what is used for their blog and what isn't. So full shots and close-ups with the zooming in, and again there you can see the colors kind of bang on, is exactly as it would be. And these are edited again, unedited images from the camera. I think this one is a 5D Mark II, 70-200. I'm just looking at the information there, but yeah, again there you can see you can crop these in if you wanted to, and have some text on the left hand side, because obviously the blog want to put some advertisements. The last few here are some MI Bandit shots for a motorcycle forum, and they wanted to get some images of types of motorcycles that are out and about and the most common bikes that people ride. And I did a bit of a different shoot here. I did like a panning shot with the 70-200, where you get like the background kind of blurred out and in motion, and the bike central. These are a couple of images I can show you. There's some others that I can't show you, that you use them in the publication, so we'll have to wait for that sign off. And there's a few cars going by, so I just took them with the cars as well. And you can tell that just by these images that I've shown you now, a small selection of the images I've taken with this lens, but it's very versatile in terms of where you can use it and obviously what types of shots you take. Again here, this is a motorcycle show, I think it's NEC, some few shots of that. And this one is the zombie apocalypse kind of day that they had for the Photographic Society, and I've taken some photos of these guys with my 50mm. You can see that in the sample there, but these are the 100mm 70-200 lens. Again, obviously here you can see that's the American football for Photographic Society that I took some photos of there. So again, you can use it for versatile types of shoots. Here's a performance at Cannon Hill Park, and these are all singers for BPYC and the Big John's Mela. Some last few images here just to kind of round off what I've got, some landscape type shots at Edgbaston